Have you ever looked at the Yu-Gi-Oh meta and just thought, what the fuck, Konami? Okay, well, I've thought about it. The way to fix this broke-ass game is...
Yeah?
You, just limit everything. Okay, in all seriousness, let me clarify. So instead of the 4 lists we have now, we just have 2. Cards you can use, which you can have 1 of, and cards you can't use, which you can have none of. Decks nowadays only use about 20 different cards, but just run them in multiple copies, and frankly, I'm sick of that shit. Here's 5 reasons why I'm right. Just imagine it, Prophecy with 1 Secrets, 1 High Priestess, 1 Magician, and 1 Judgment. They'd have to use shit like Charioteer, and you know what? It'd be fucking fun! I find too many times, go in second, the game is essentially over by the time I get a turn. What's that? You've gone Dracosac and plus 15 of 3 super rejuvenations? Be having none of that. Think back to Yu-Gi-Oh's humble beginnings. Remember Yugi? That guy was so cool! Remember those 3 Dark Magicians he ran? He built up this team of mismatched critters. They were all different and all had a different personality. It was like every underdog sports movie ever. But with monsters. He'd be like, bitch, ain't nobody gonna fuck with the Celtic Guardian.
But what about Kyber's 3 Blue Eyes?
Seriously? That's a goddamn abnormality. He went to the ends of the earth to get those guys together. Christ, he nearly killed a guy.
Yugi won.
Is that what you want your Yu-Gi-Oh players to be like? Okay, I'm gonna throw some numbers at you. If you're not English, get yourself a currency converter. Dracosac, £75. Big Eye, £50. I ain't gonna get started on Prophecy. The point is, if everything's at 1, it's gonna lower the cost of the big money cards. And we're the budget brigade. That shit's hotcakes to us. Ultimately, this change would lead to a much more even power base between a lot of different decks. Instead of having 3 or 4 massively powerful decks, and then other decks built to counter them. I'm looking at you, Evil Swarm! The competitive Yu-Gi-Oh decks would consist of a variety of monsters, bolstered by spells, and protected by traps. You know, like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hang on a second there, chum. Slow down and have a cup of tea. As great as some of that sounds, I don't think your proposition would go entirely as planned. Now, unlike you, I've actually put some thought into the matter, past the I want this thing stage. So here are 5 reasons why you're wrong. Remember Rescue Rabbit? Photon Saber Tiger? Reborn Goddamn Tengu? Your crackhead list would make these frankly balanced and interesting cards.
Tengu ain't balanced!
Completely bloody useless. It's a waste. Just like you enjoy the feeling of knowing the individual cards in your deck, I like having a faceless army at my disposal. I don't need to know that my Photon Thrasher's forename is Greg, or that he has a 6-year-old daughter. I need to know that he's capable of being a beatstick, and so are his 2 clones. It's like Advance Wars versus Fire Emblem, and I like Advance Wars. If every card is at 1, and one deck becomes all powerful, it will be jolly hard for Konami to address said deck without outright killing it. If the only powers you have are ban or allow, it will be increasingly difficult to keep problem decks under control. Instead of giving us lots of broken archetypes and then limiting the problem cards, balancing the archetypes out, Konami will just create 1 really broken card per archetype and then make the archetype really good at tutoring it. Because the foremost thing on Konami's mind is sales, and the way they get sales is hype over the broken cards. I sell cards on eBay, and if your misguided dream becomes a reality, my side business is going to go down like the Hindenburg. With only 1 of each card allowed, the value of powerful cards would, as you said, drop, completely devaluing the second-hand market, which a lot of players rely on to fund their participation in the game. Part of the fun of the game comes from the risk of purchasing a box, with the hope that you'll get a money card out of it.
What? Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening to any of that.
Well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree then.
Nope! We're taking a vote. If you agree with either of our arguments, or there's some shit we haven't thought of, post it in the comments.
We're the Yu-Gi-Oh! Budget Brigade. remember, if it's worth money, it ain't worth time.
Now fuck off!